What happens when you fuse two completely different franchises together? Today we're going to find out. Using this random game generator website, I picked two different franchises and then tried to create a picture combining those two franchises. Here's how it went. It's time to generate our first game. Stronghold. A historic real-time strategy game. I'd never heard of this before, so it's like a top-down game. So I guess the character we'd be designing is this guy here. So a dude in armour. And a medieval lord. So we have some bad guys here. And then we also have some good guys. So I guess I'll flip a coin to see whether we pick from these guys or pick from these guys. So we have the coin up here, let's flip it. If it's heads, then we'll do the good guys, and if it's tails, we'll do the bad guys. Tails, so it's the bad guys. So these are the three main bad guys from the game. So we'll see which one we get. And that'll be the first base design that we will have. The wolf. Let's see what the wolf looks like. Damn, bro is angry. Apparently this is him panicking. So he's in a few different games. It's really funny how his name is Duke Volpe, or Volpe, I guess. Which means fox, not wolf. Because Volpine is obviously a fox. So that's quite funny. But it's fine. Lord Lupus is a much better name. But it's essentially an angry guy in a suit of armour. Okay, it's time to generate our second game that we will be combining with Stronghold. Unravel, I remember this game. This game's so cute. Only Yanni can be the bond that ties everything together in the end. This was a really cool game. So we have sort of a guy in a suit of armour, I guess, made up of yarn. For the first picture, I started with the outline of the wolf from Stronghold. Then I added the yarn face, still looking very angry, of course. The yarn took a long time, but I think it ended up looking alright. I surrounded him in darkness, just like this image, added the crevices to the yarn, and gave him two yarny eyeballs, as well as the nose and the mouth. I added some more darkness in the crevices of the yarn, and then tried to make it look more like the face was in the armour. I then finished the rest of the line work. I wanted to make an effective shadow effect, so it actually looks like he's in the darkness, again using the official image as a reference. In order to make the metal armour look metallic, I started off with just a base grey, and I coloured the face in red, just like Yanni's face. This was definitely a good drawing for learning how to do metal reflections in the darkness, with a small amount of light reflecting off it, which I'd never done before. I made the chainmail parts by doing little dots and then covering those little dots with more dots, adding little bits of reflection and little bits of shading in order to ensure that it actually looks like little bits of chain that are reflecting the light. Then I shaded everything to look nice and dark. I added a few more details like the spikes and the gemstone, all of which reflect light in their own way, and so they needed to be shaded accordingly. This drawing took a very long time, and I think it turned out pretty cool, but I definitely need to find a more efficient way of drawing images with lots of small details like this. So that's the Yanni wolf complete. Let's move on to the next image. Okay, it's time to generate our second Eldritch Horror. So let's see what game we get. Euro Truck Simulator 2. So we'll be designing a truck of some kind then. I can get behind that depending on what we get for the last one. It may end up just having one of the characters driving the truck, which would be quite fun. But we will see what the second game is. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. What a classic game. I've never actually played this one. So I'm thinking we either have Link driving a truck, or we have like the moon has a truck or something. Let's see if I can put Euro Truck Simulator and The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask together
to create a fusion.
For the next image, I decided to go more in the direction of having Link inside the truck, since Euro Truck Simulator doesn't really have any characters from what I saw, and also I thought the idea of Link attempting to drive a truck was funny. I started with the basic design for a truck and placed Link inside. I made the outline for Link, based him on his Majora's Mask design, and gave him a terrified face, since he's a child attempting to drive a large vehicle. He's grabbing onto the wheel for dear life as the truck tumbles down the road. I quickly drew in the chairs of the lorry and I added the Goron mask hanging off the mirror. I mostly just did this to add to the fact that it's specifically Majora's Mask that I was basing this on, and also because I thought it would add a bit more to the picture. How did it get round there in the first place? It just did, don't question it. With this piece I wanted to add a little bit of foreshortening. In hindsight I could have done way more to make it appear as if it's really tall, like looking up at a big skyscraper with the tiny little Link at the top. I do think the effect does work at least a little bit. Then it was just a matter of finishing the line work and moving on to the colouring. I also decided to change the lights to look less modern during this stage as well. Since the Zelda universe doesn't really have any big metal machines like those seen in the simulator, I instead decided to make it look more Zelda-like by making it out of wood. This is also why I decided to change the design of the lights. Don't ask me how it runs though. So that's it for this image. I think it ended up being pretty comedic, and I was happy with some of the shading I did, especially on Link himself. And with that, we have the two images. I definitely prefer the second one, mostly because I was happy with how I drew Link. I think the first one was a good concept, but I'm not nearly good enough of an artist yet to make the image I wanted, at least not without spending a long time. So perhaps I'll revisit a concept like this or something in the future. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more of my art-based videos, I have a few others that you can check out, and if you like them, maybe consider subscribing. I'm currently working on more art-based stuff and some other stuff too. Until next time.